Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so let's dive into a Divine Masculine check-in. Thank you, Divine Creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest and most beneficial information coming through. What can we see for the Divine Masculine collective that I channel here? What is it that the Divine Masculines are clearing in the collective energy? What is the karma transmuting? What are the paradigms shifting? The Hierophant, Magus of the eternal gods. So spirituality on the planet. Let's get some more information. What deck am I going to clarify with? Okay. So for this Hierophant energy, I'm hearing Knights Templar, but also, you know, there are so many different lineages on the planet, and we're moving into unity consciousness. So there is a path of least resistance, which is the path of love. So whatever walk of life, station in society your Divine Masculine is at, or for you Divine Masculines, you are reclaiming disintegrated templates in the name of love, and you are like high priests, chieftains on the planet doing this work. True Divine Masculines are doing that. Okay, so what is it that we can see? What is this Hierophant speaking to today? What specific themes is this holy high priest energy coming in to establish? Love, self-love. The Knight of Cups in the inverse is the inner verse of the Divine Masculines is being purified, I just heard. So some very sacred, and we have to remember, you know, sometimes we forget in the relationship struggle that these connections aren't just romantic things. Yes, romance has to do with love, but this is some pretty sacred spiritual energy, and we have to remember with Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, it's not that it is elitist, that only a select few can access it. It's a discipline. It's actually a way of life to include a spiritual, heightened spiritual understanding and expansive, unilateral, encompassing energy. It isn't just a mundane of the world thing. It takes free will choice to access. It is a spiritual seeking, a spiritual choice to align with eternal love. And so we can't negate the spiritual, the energy. There are so many schools of thought to describe what happens on these love journeys. It is beautiful and elegant. You know, that age-old science and religion kind of a thing. We are truly alchemizing those two attributes as well in these processes, but at the same time, Divine Masculines are bringing the cool back into spirituality because they are not willing to play by the earthly templates and descriptions of what spirituality has been in the past when it's been perverted into control dynamics and dogma and legalism. So the Divine Masculines are remembering that it's an essential part of ourselves to include the spiritual. It's almost like they're saying, wait a second, if I pretend I'm not spiritual, I'll lose the color, I'll lose the nuance, I'll lose the pleasure out of life. It becomes a hollow shell is what I'm hearing. Okay, how else is this affecting the twin dynamic. They're seeing when they have forsaken this spiritual component within them, that is when they have lost you, when they have gone into grieving. Divine Feminine, you represent the lifeblood, the aliveness, the spiritual awareness. And so your Divine Masculine goes into a silent mourning when they negate their own spiritual attributes. They also negate you. Words that are coming to me right now are spirituality, love, trust, faith, benevolence. When they do not include those conscious recognitions, they do not have you in their life. They do not have that within them, and so therefore they cannot have that in their life with you. Okay, let's jump into Divine Masculine daily reading. What are the Divine Masculines thinking about these connections on the conscious mind at this time? What are they feeling on the heart space? What are they wishing for these connections? Unions, I was saying in my mind. So what are they wishing for these unions? What actions are being taken? What is the biggest challenge at this time regarding union energies? And I want to just say union energies is the unfolding of an increase of love. Union has many layers. Even that you are incarnated at the same time as your twin is a form of union. So beautiful. Even that you have a connection to source and you are developing your energetic awareness and spiritual gifts, that is a form of union. It's all a seamless unfolding of revelation of the nature of reality. Okay, what are the Divine Masculines feeling on the conscious mind? Okay, Twin Flame and Princess of Love. This Page of Cups in the upright is a very daydreamy, ethereal sort of an energy. It's a little bit airy-fairy, woo-woo. In the reverse, for me, it's a desire to ground it. And this is the choice. The Two of Wands is having chosen one option here. Both go towards the same end. And I'm really feeling like literally end of life here as the end result. And that we may come to awarenesses if we stay on the, the worldly alignment. And we may come to different awarenesses if we choose a more spiritually focused. This is saying at the end of life, we all meet the same result. We all meet our maker, so to speak. And the Divine Masculines are realizing that when they negate a certain soul spark, because the wands are that soul stuff, when they negate a certain aspect of themselves, the flavor, the color, the sweet symphony is not there. And so they might as well enjoy the ride and experience the lushness truly, not the decadence and temptation, but the authentic life affirming aliveness. There's something in that, and it's not otherworldly anymore to them as they align and they choose to align with this spiritual inclusion. They are embodying this ethereal, otherworldly energy that they thought was reserved for daydreaming or fantasy or child's play, childish energy, I heard. So for some, they're maturing, they're anchoring, they're grounding, and saying, why shouldn't I be in a heavenly alignment and integrate that into my daily life? Why shouldn't I be in this otherworldly walking in signs and miracles and the supernatural in my daily life? This really speaks to having shed a lot of the concerns that others would judge them negatively for being too airy-fairy woo and saying, no, wait a second, it's much more luxurious, abundant for me to include that. Wow, good messages. I wonder how much 1111 portal, doorway, gateway had to do with that. Okay, on the heart space, here we have, oh, this is beautiful. So yes, the Five of Wands is all the people, opinions, things external that the masculines have been buying into. They've brought it out here in the reverse, and I'm getting this, they've said no to it. It's all the reputation and trying to be a certain way for approval or gratification or anything that they've given their power away or negated the spiritual aspect of themselves. They're saying no to that in the name of unconditional love. Unconditional love is connection to source and then taking or leaving anything that doesn't align or aligns with that. That's actually unconditional love. You have to have the baseline of connection to source to be in a frequency of unconditional love. And that is the alignment where you can take or leave anything that comes to you in your reality that is either life-affirming or sin, death energies. And so they're realizing they don't have to be accepting everything that comes to them. That is pushover energy. That is not strong energy, that's weak energy. And that's where temptations and detours and fruitless pursuits are also included in somebody's experience when they're not discerning of what's coming to them. It's like a smorgasbord, and you know, some things might have poison in them. Some things might not be healthy. So unconditional love is to be more discerning. This is a big theme that's been hard to articulate for me because there are such worldly assumptions about what unconditional love is. It is not putting up with poor behavior and all of those things. On the heart space for the feminine, we see this grounding of spirituality into the masculine's conscious mind, which outpours through the heart with peace here towards the divine feminine when all the external options and conundrums are let go. The masculines are able to connect on that heart space through unconditional love and see that unconditional love does. It's not an exclusion of all this extra, but it's a refining and a purifying and focusing on what really matters. It's like priorities are being recalibrated here. And on the heart space, this holy grail is the wellspring of aliveness in the connection. I just heard that does not seem to ever produce a dead-end street. The masculines are understanding this is the fountain of youth, the holy grail. Your connection on the heart space washes away all else, all other. And it seems like an eternal wellspring. They're really catching on to that. There has been a temptation in the masculine collective and the feminines, like actually, to look at these connections and fear and assess them through fear and not see this attribute fully. There's an appreciation coming in there. What is the wish for the divine masculines? Here's the Hierophant again. Another key showing up. In this deck, we're getting spiritual keys. So one of them is the spiritual law of reciprocity, of giving and receiving. So in the reverse, this is where they've been giving to things that did not elicit honor and respect. willy-nilly, just giving into whatever they felt was pulling on their energy, not knowing how to assess whether it was worthy or not. There is a sense that there is a higher truth. When we adopt a spiritual understanding and when we calibrate with love, there are more appropriate things to use our energy for and to direct our life force towards. The divine masculines are wishing to come into alignment with a higher spiritual understanding of where it is appropriate to contribute and what is fruitful and what isn't. Oh, divine masculines, be still my beating heart. What actions are being taken? Oh, the Sun and the Knight of Wands in the reverse. This is the temptation, hot and cold, ghosting. All the glitters is not gold energy. This is the weak energy. I call it my Garden of Eden temptation card because a lot of times this is, lustful third-party temptation scenarios, affairs, adultery, we'll say, all of that cheating, lying, shady stuff. In the reverse, there is enlightenment about this whole theme of what unconditional love really is, and that empowerment is to be discerning with how we wield our energetic choices. And divine masculines are now seeing the light about their weak energy. Oh, wow. And I'm going to get a clarifier on that because I want to see what choices are they making differently. What choices are the divine masculines making differently, having seen this enlightened perspective on what they've been doing in weak energy? Okay, we literally get third party, Page of Wands. We're coming into a realm of true joy and authentic celebration instead of the appearance of the festivities. So some divine masculines could have been partying. I'm hearing drugs and alcohol, multiple people, lovers, that sort of an energy. They're now turning their back on that look and seeing that authentic joy is an inside job. And discernment, the Eight of Wands. So they have had their eyes open to, just because it looks jovial on the surface doesn't mean it's good for you or that it's going to keep your life force energy intact. It erodes when we give our power away, when we give when our conscience is eroded because we are making choices that are not authentically life affirming. There is a sneaky disintegration that comes in where we don't feel empowered. It looks like we're living the life, but it isn't. It's a hollow pursuit. Smoke and mirrors, I just heard. So they're really seeing they have to include the spiritual, and that they want true joy, true friendship, true connection. Beautiful. What is the biggest challenge for the masculines at this time? Burden. 10 of Wands. This is all of the things that are amassed, accumulated when we aren't discerning. Literally, this is that energy of excess that we've been seeing in the readings the last little while. The divine masculines need to downsize, clean house, eliminate certain frequencies, people, alignments, contracts, affiliations that were initiated when they were less discerning. So divine masculines have engaged with some class 5 clingers. Like there are some sticky affiliations that the divine masculines now know they need to release, but they haven't been letting go. The 8 of Cups is the walking away from emotional things that don't serve. It sometimes talks about third-party situations. In the reverse, it can be a returning back to the essential. It's like the divine masculines don't want to release everything. They want the support of the lessons. They want the genuine threads of connection within these situations, but they don't want the burden. So they're really looking at, I just heard, whether the people involved in this are needing to be let go, or if it's just the constructs, the paradigms, the agreements that were between them. So they're kind of going through with a fine-tooth comb and seeing that all connections don't have to have burden, that they may need to release some, they may need to reinvent some. It's like going back to the drawing board and seeing, I feel a pull to certain people, certain situations. Is all lost there if they have burden, or can there be other ways of looking at it, is what I'm getting from this combination. So it's diplomacy. It's very astute energy, because it's unconditional. It's like the divine masculines are seeing a lot of burdensome things that are cumbersome. They've created a cumbersome energy with this lack of discernment that they have brought into their lives. And so now this is where the fine-tooth comb energy comes in, because now they can go in and look at truly what those connections do offer that's beneficial. Not all is lost, and this is a sharpening tool for true diplomacy and instruction. It's like a teaching mode. The divine masculines seem to be invited to reconsider why certain alignments and alliances and affiliations are in their lives, because they don't want to just look at it as meaningless. So there's a challenge there, because there seems to be a lot of I'm just hearing like big block store type commodity in their life, and they're kind of going for the artisan, finely crafted, unique, and like a curated energy. They're wanting to curate their lives and bring in the meaningful aspects, because they know this is why this is a burden, is because they know that they were up to certain things. They know they were drawn to a lot of these things because it did offer them something of value. But right now there's so much excess that they know it's not all valuable. So they're really tasked with looking at where the value, where the gems in the rough are in their life right now. Oh, I'm just hearing that is helping them appreciate you, Divine Feminine, even more. Oh, because I heard, whereas with most people, places, and things, there's a lot of the extra and not a lot of the essential. And with your connection, you are almost entirely essential, except for any of the separation energy that has come in and affected your connection. That's got to go. There's that 3D to 5D inverse flip of perception thing coming in, where things of the world have been seen now as fluff and excess, and your connection is being crystallized into appreciation, and the disintegration in it is what needs to go. Oh, that's so beautiful. That's not so opposite from the things of the world, though, because divine masculines do seem to be house cleaning the unnecessary in their lives. What is the spiritual advice? Oh, moving forward with divine feminine. This is my Queen of Wands divine feminine card, but it is also a martial artist level of understanding of life force, chi, aliveness, energy. And I'll often, when this card comes out, I see like a feminine in a flowing gown moving effortlessly through time and space, and reality rising up and conspiring to meet the dance of the feminine. It's such a fluid and instant manifestation sort of an energy where every motion of this self-realized, embodied devotee of divine energy, and it's a temple energy, a temple embodiment of life force energy, and so it is instantaneous flow and grace and ease and manifestation. It works with the energies that be. It dances with the energies that be. So divine masculine, it's time to include this limber, flowing, just like energy into your life that moves this forward in perfect harmony and balance. The idea of the alchemical harmonics that come in when masculine and feminine are in balance within their own unit and then come together and create that third energy. This is what we're talking about. It's the ease and aliveness and the multidimensional navigation that just comes into flow, divine masculine. So that's the reason why you need to streamline this extra fluff out of your life, is so that you can catch a fire like this and navigate on that flow, on that edge that is the true exhilaration. I've often said that when we become aware of the aliveness that purity elicits, that when we catch on to that, it is like the original addiction. Life becomes an addiction. Aliveness becomes an addiction that all the other things are a counterfeit for. We're chasing this life force energy when we are giving our power into other sort of worldly addictions. I do want to say with addictions, they are, gates of the world. They hold so much power. There are developmental energies and teaching experiences in all things that human beings crave and specialize in. Addictions are specializations of certain frequencies in a counterfeit way, because the aliveness, the true spiritual aliveness that can be accessed, is the meaning of life. It's the love frequency. It's what everything else is trying for, really. And so there is this massive message when you come into the alignment with the aliveness and the eternal love. It's a self-organizing principle, because nothing else will do. I'm seeing that energy here. I'm seeing that revelation coming through divine masculines. Where are these connections going? The Hermit and the world. This is an ascending commitment to ascend. This has been a missing embodiment, aha moment for the divine masculines. And so now that they've seen this, there is a hermit mode being accessed about how to transcend worldly habits and choices and alignments. Oh, this is so gorgeous. I remember as a little kid seeing a picture of, or a drawing of, the world being held on a turtle's back. It stuck with me, and so I do see that everything depends on this hermit mode that the masculines are in right now. So let them to it, divine feminines, because this is where everything changes. This is where the energetic alignment is accessed by the masculines, and the world's not going to be the same from here on out. Oh my goodness, that's so stunning. Okay, let's get one of these mystical shaman oracles. What can we see? The coyote. These are the divine detours. It's in the upright, the 12 card. The coyote is a symbol of the sacred trickster, the one who provides detours for growth and understanding by ensuring that things don't go as planned. The coyote brings the energy of divine deception to set you free from the shackles of that which doesn't serve you. Sometimes it appears you will get everything you want, only to find that coyote brings you the opposite of what you hoped for. The lessons offered by coyote may at first be confusing, but they are most sacred and always for your highest good. If coyote calls to you, it's time to pay special attention to detours and disappointment, as they are true tests of faith. You have set your intentions and turned them over to Great Spirit, yet you may find yourself lost and confused when it appears you're being led off course, off the path leading to your most cherished dreams and desires. Remember this, coyote is a sacred trickster and may be leading you into challenges to ensure that you're ready to handle what you've set in motion. Great growth and understanding come to you when coyote calls your name. We saw coyote energy really prevalent in the spring, and this is where a lot of the divine masculines went into rebound relationships, into lifestyle choices. That was the free-for-all, the smorgasbord of what the 3D offered, and this excess energy, we're seeing a return coming back out of that, and now seeing the depth of instruction that those things brought, the dualistic assessment of free will choice and things that don't result in growth versus the aliveness. Okay, many blessings, my dear, dear fellow starseeds, travelers, light workers, earth workers, and friends. Bye for now.